D Cross! Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I am a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with another requested reaction, and we'll be reacting to yet another group for the very first time on this channel. And today we'll be watching D Crunch.
So, we will be watching D Crunch's most recent comeback today called My Name, which came out in April of this year. We don't know too much about D Crunch, to be completely honest. So, we looked at their profile and they are an 8-member boy group. They originally debuted in 2018, but then they switched companies in 2020. They are currently under AI. The I is lowercase, so I'm not sure. Grand Korea. But that being said, let's go!
They're a hip-hop group, according to their profile.
This looks sad.
Yeah.
And sentimental. Is it not? Was that
And
just
we
a cop-out?
changed.
Oh, I mean, similar theme. It's the same.
Ooh. That reminds me of the Titanic.
Oh. Sorry, I feel like we haven't said I feel weird speaking over it, I know. Oh, that was cool. This is like the first thing you've said this whole time.
I talked about the Titanic earlier.
Okay.
I'm not talking. Oh, okay, I get it.
Thanks.
I understand the line.
Yeah, I like that part. On fire.
There's so many things that look cool in the dance, but they're not showing it for long enough.
Because they need the shots with the girl.
Oh.
What is the background vocal singing earlier?
Oh.
Oh, octave lower. With the high note.
I feel like it probably goes without saying, but it's like my angst.
Yeah.
Which is also why I'm just like, oh.
I do like the piano playing the melody a lot. What was that?
Is the company intro at the end?
That's so... What?
Do most people sit through that?
I don't know.
I was right. There's a lot of really interesting things in the dance that are just hinted at in the music video. And it's because they have to have like the storytelling shots to like convey the meaning of the song. But then, you know, as a dancer, I'm like, let's just watch just the dance. I'm fine with just dance music videos. But a couple of things that are noticeable in the music video or that like stuck out to me is like, oh, I bet that's an interesting part. Oh, I bet that's an interesting part. In general, they just have a lot of really interesting shapes and formations. Like they don't stick to typical like just in lines, just in a V or like a reverse V. And that's true right from the very beginning. And it's especially true in the verses and the pre-chorus. The beginning, for example, is starting with two members on one side sort of creating a door that another member is walking to, and then in the back they're like at a descending angle, like standing. And so it's just a lot of very interesting things for your eyes to catch on to because there's lots of levels, there's different choreography happening, like what the people in the line are doing is different than what the person walking is doing, than the two people standing over here is doing. So it's a lot going on, but it's all complementary, so it isn't overwhelming to you. It just sort of feels like you're being drawn in. And then also like right after that is the Titanic moment, and it really is like a Titanic moment because two members have their arms open and they're being held by their other members and they like all lean forward. Another one that's probably my favorite part of the entire choreography is the pre-chorus, and I can't describe exactly how it looks. I think everyone should honestly just go watch the dance practice because it was really good and really amazing. But the pre-chorus choreography, the way that they go from a line and then sort of like split off into different groups is really interesting because it also is conveying a lot of like different emotions there, I guess, that they're talking about in the song through sort of like this circular feeling of always being drawn back to something. And it just also reminded me of like kind of a clock moving. And even when they are in more traditional formations like just lines or V's, they also are rarely all doing the same thing at one time. They'll be sort of like switching back and forth with groups, or they'll be in two lines doing complementary choreographies that are different. So it's still like not just the same thing over and over again. And when they do have those moments of full group unity, that's concentrated in the chorus, which is the strongest, most like intense part of the song. And it makes it more impactful because then you're seeing 8 people do the same thing when you've been sort of watching these different groups build on each other, so it makes it more impactful. And then I also really liked how there were a lot of really small detailed movements you could see, and you could see this in the music video too. There'll just be like little finger rolls, or a hand will flex, they'll go up onto the ball of their foot, just like small things that sort of like elevate the choreography a little bit. And then I think my last comment is going to be that another thing that's very noticeable about it is it's very together because it is on the smoother side of choreographies. Like they do a lot of body rolls, they do a lot of like this sort of thing. That does make it a little bit harder to stay that together because it's not sharp movements. It's a little bit harder to stay that in sync, but they kind of lock back into place in a lot of those with like an isolation or a pop movement. What was my point with that? Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. Another reason that they're able to do that is they're very grounded. Like their steps that they take are very sure. There's never any sort of like wobbling, bobbling, like, oh, where am I supposed to go? Like they're very sure of their body movement and their body placement. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I liked the music video too because it was like angsty, but then I watched the dance and I was like, yes! Anna's turn.
Okay, so it's time for my comments, and like obviously there's like rapping focus in the song, but those are focused mostly in the pre-choruses. It was very melodic. There was a lot of vocals and like just my personal preference. I enjoy songs like that. I mean, singer, I said in the intro. Also, just like the song having less of a focus on all these different percussion layers that exist and more of like things with pitch, and it's more melodic and moving lines. I really enjoyed that. One of those things is like the common theme. In the music video, it's the piano line that we hear in the beginning with the intro, but listening to the actual song itself, I have now learned that that is not part of the actual song. The song itself starts with the sort of like sustained pitch kind of wind up sound and then it goes in, but the actual song does include the outro of the piano, just a piano playing the theme that's been throughout the whole song. So obviously this song was very emotional, sentimental, it's kind of sad, angsty. A few layers besides like the synth common theme that I was talking about. One of those is in the very beginning, there's snap percussion. Snaps are like more pulled back, sort of contrasted with that. If that's more of like contemplative, sort of moving along in the story, the bass that you hear is very more like deep, grounded. You feel more of like the drama and extreme emotions through the bass. It's not like completely like whew, sort of grounded, but like the way it rings out, it creates this sort of heaviness. Perhaps if you're talking about their emotions, like defeat. There is one line that I really enjoyed. It's the guitar line that you hear come through starting in the second half of the first verse. It has this sort of cool like in and out effect because of the way that it's being played, like the like in and out. I do wish that there was kind of more of a spotlight on it because I think it's a really nice line. As simple as it might be, it adds a nice effect to the song. And you hear it a little bit more in the beginning of the second verse, but in general, it's kind of overpowered by the percussion that you hear. Like I mentioned earlier, the perc isn't as strong in this song, but there are a few lines, like in the chorus specifically, it's not percussion, but like there's this one synth line that plays in the chorus, and it feels like the focus of that part, which it is, but since it's so prominent, it feels like it kind of not completely drowns out, but overpowers the melodic like line that's being sung during the chorus, which I think is kind of a shame because like I really enjoy hearing their voices. Like they have beautiful voices. That being said though, I think I will end with this note. So transition into the final chorus, how it like goes down an octave, which is nice because like you've been like up here, but then it immediately goes into the high notes, which by the way are amazing. But then also in the background, he starts singing more ad-libs for the final chorus, and they just go higher every single time, higher than like the highlight high note, which is wow. And then especially the last one is the highest one, but the way that it's been mixed and edited, it's like very faded out. If I were to compare it to an image in my head, it feels like a wispy memory. That's all I had to say. I'm done. But I think it's my turn to TLDR. So TLDR for this reaction is we reacted to D-Crunch for the first time on this channel. And wow. I feel like it's definitely shown us what we've been missing out on. It was very different from what we were expecting based on what we read from their profile, but it was like a nice, pleasant little surprise, both for me musically and also in the dance and choreography performance for Peyton. I mean, she also loved the angst of the music video. Hopefully they'll have a comeback soon so that we can see what they do in the future.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But that being said, if you would like to talk with us more about this release, about D-Crunch in general, maybe let us know some things since, you know, we're new to this group, or just anything about K-pop in general, then come find us on our socials and we're always ready to talk. And if you enjoyed this reaction video, then please like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye!